All right, welcome back, everybody. We have Whitebeard versus Rebecca. We haven't seen Rebecca since round one, so this is very exciting to get to see a set four leader here. And these are players from table one, undefeated. And so this is going to be a very exciting game. Looks like Rebecca's going to get to go first. They're just finishing up with their mulligan right now. Um, it's a little slow between rounds at the moment. The reason is because the Wi-Fi is not working that well in the building, and a lot of players are having difficulty reporting their match results. So that's why the rounds have had a few extra minutes in between them. So now we're going to go into Rebecca versus Whitebeard. Rebecca is a deck that takes its time, and Whitebeard is a deck that loses life while time is taken. So this could be a very favorable match for Rebecca to handle because when Whitebeard goes low, Rebecca can swing tall, very tall. We could be looking for a Luffy with 3 Gum Gum pistols or Gum Gum Gatling guns, 25k swing twice as the way this game ends. We'll see. So again, we're just getting set up right now, but very, very excited to see a Rebecca against the Whitebeard menace, as it were. All right. So we see Rebecca's going to start off with the leader effect, grab a 2K, put Leo in the drop, and that'll probably be the end of the turn there. Whitebeard's going to go ahead and go. Whitebeard going second is definitely concerning because you're on that even curve and you have the opportunity to play vanillas if this is a Strawbeard build. Or if it's not, you still have the Whitebeard vanillas too. So let's see, how telling will this EZO be?
Winnerbox 47. Winnerbox 47. Please report to the stage.
Looks like that is
Winnerbox
the
number
4-6
47.
Atmos,
Please
I
report to
believe
the
is his name.
stage.
And then we've got a second EZO. That is concerning. We get to sculpt our hand as Whitebeard. Whitebeard very happy to see this. Oh, and Whitebeard has found the 9-drop. And then goes ahead, ends turn, taking the life. Rebecca going to turn 3. We could see Kyros come down this turn if Rebecca has one. It does clear an Ezo for free. And we do see the toy soldier himself coming down. Clear the 1-drop, mill a card. Losing an Orlumbus. He will be back. Cards that are in the trash for Rebecca do come back eventually. See a 6K go across the table, and we're going to go ahead and use the 2K that we found the first turn, which is fine. Rebecca doesn't want the hand to be too high so that she can use her effect. And turn passes with the Atmos being played. So now we're on 5 Dawn. This could be a Sabo turn.
4 p.m. chopper event. That is time in the round. Please enter end of round procedures. If you have any questions regards to that, please raise your hand and call for a judge.
Okay, we're going to see 4 Dawn go down for the sword. Very, very interesting tech there. You choose up to one of your opponent's characters that costs a 4 or less and KO it. And if you have 15 or more cards in your trash, you choose one of your opponent's characters with a 6 cost instead. So it's just 4 mana, deal 4. Pretty good. Its trigger is very strong,
Main
though.
event.
You
Winnerbox event. That
rest
is
your
5 minutes
leader,
into the
and you
round.
get
If you have
to
an opponent this
KO
turn,
a 5 or
raise your
less.
hand and call for a judge.
So it's definitely a card you want to see in your triggers. But drawing it's fine too. It's just 4 mana removal. 4 Dawn removal. Okay, we're going to see 7 go across the table at Rebecca. Rebecca's going to go ahead and take that. And then we have, looks like 5-drop Marco coming down. Um, no value off the effect, but it is just a tempo Marco. And we see a lot of tempo Marcos. Marco also doesn't get too much value against
4
Rebecca
p.m. chopper.
because
Round
of
2
the
is now
Sabo
posted. 4
turns.
p.m. chopper. Round 2 is now up.
Sabo turns do make it a little hard to get any value off Marco anyway, so it's pretty solid to just go ahead and tempo Marco there. On 7, so we don't have our Coliseum established yet. Because we don't have Coliseum established,
6
we're
p.m. Buddy Battle.
probably not going to see
Check-in
a Luffy
starts
come down
now
this
for
turn.
the 6 p.m. Buddy Battle. We also have spots available. Once again, 6 p.m. Buddy
And
Battle.
we
Check-in
see
and registration now
3,000
available.
worlds go ahead and bottom deck that Marco. We're not going to let Whitebeard have anything on the board. We're going to go ahead and play a blocker, and that one last Dawn, leader effect, grab a 2K, put Rebecca, and drop. Pretty solid. Pretty solid turn for Rebecca there. Again, Whitebeard not being able to establish a board and just watching his life dwindle. Watching the game state sort of run away from him. So, all right, we're going to see, looks like Whitebeard Pirates. So we're looking at the top 5 for a Whitebeard. Now we do know Whitebeard found the 9-drop Newgate. That appears to be the 4-drop Marco. And nope, 5-drop Marco. Their alt arts look very similar to me. So we see 5-drop Marco come down, and we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of value off of it this time, clearing a blocker. Not too bad. And then are we going to go 7 across the table, or are we going to go 8 across the table? Might just go 6. We're going to go 8. All right, so we got 8 across the table. We're going to get out of that, which is correct here. You definitely want to counter out of that because now you have 5 in hand, you draw to 6, which means you get the ability to use your Rebecca effect. Your Rebecca effect is online once again, and filtering through your deck, filling your trash up, these are all part of Rebecca's game plan. And
4
so
p.m.
we
Chopper,
see
you have 31
exactly that.
minutes. You may begin.
All right, looks like we're choosing between a Bardo and I think a Sabo. Yes, that's a Sabo. So we got Bardo and Sabo. Do you, do you need a blocker or do you need a blocker? We're going to choose the smaller of the blockers. Now notice Rebecca hasn't made a single attack, I don't think this entire game. So this is the very first one. Toy Soldier goes across the board at Whitebeard. Whitebeard has an enormous hand, and it looks like so many guard points. So much defense in that hand, but not too much offense. I'm going to just go ahead and counter out of it with an Ezo. And here comes Luffy. No protection, though. So this could end badly for the Luffy if we have some combination of Otamas and Fire Fists or Jet Pistols. We'll see. We'll see. So this Luffy's on the board. We talked about this earlier. Your game plan is to just put a lot of Gatling guns on a Luffy and swing twice. And Whitebeard might be able to get out of a 25k once, but it probably can't do it twice in the same turn. So we put this Luffy on the board, and now Whitebeard knows the win condition has been established. How many Kong guns does my opponent have? Can I get some blockers? What can I play this turn that matters? Because that Luffy can just swing on it. So we're going to go ahead and drop the 9-drop here. Makes sense. Also, I do believe that is the best artwork of the 9-drop. All right, we've got an 8K going across the board. Rebecca might take this or might counter out of it. Again, Rebecca is incentivized to drop to 5 cards in hand before the turn passes. So countering 2 cards here on this 8K swing isn't the end of the world at all. You see the Tashigi in hand. It looks like there might be 2 Tashigis. Really get to see the power of Rebecca's leader effect here. You lose the value in being able to attack with your leader, but you gain the ability to draw 2 cards a turn, which is a lot. All right, and turn passes. So the leader is an 8K right now, base, and has 2 life. So the question does become, how many Kong guns could my opponent have? This Rebecca looks at the top 3, adds a Dressrosa, and drops the other 2 in the trash. She can't add herself. We have 5, 10, 11 cards in trash. Okay, we do have the sword there. We're not quite at 15, though. 15 is the magic number, so we might just take the Orlumbus, and we do. That does put us to 13. We could see Orlumbus come down. We have Toy Soldier established. The question just becomes, do we have removal on top of that? It would be very nice to Orlumbus use its effect to reduce the Whitebeard that's on the board to a 5-drop, and then have 3,000 worlds and put it on the bottom. The question is, do we get to see that happen? I believe we are, in fact, about to see that happen. And we get the mills for the Luffy, too, putting us exactly at 15. And there it is. There's the 3,000 worlds. Wow. This is a pretty good show for Rebecca for sure. It's nice to be able to see a new deck. The stream actually appears to be a little cursed for Whitebeard. I don't, except in the mirror match, I don't think Whitebeard's been able to take a stream match. This game's far from over. So we might just see it go after the Ezo. Fair enough. No real reason to attack anything. The leader. Can't really put Don on it. The leader is a base 8. And now we've got Luffy's effect. We're going to put 7 back, switch itself to active mode, and then probably just pass. Because when you use Luffy's effect to inflate himself, he deflates and cannot restand during your next untap phase. All right. And then Luffy switches to active, and that'll be the end of the turn. Whitebeard still has a lot of defense in hand, but that offensive power is just not quite there. Mostly because Rebecca has not let Whitebeard have any offensive power. Remember, Rebecca saw the 9-drop Whitebeard get added to hand early in the game, and so this is probably why we did not see 3,000 swords come down on this Marco. Very, very good play to just hold the 3,000 swords for when the 9-drop comes down. Whitebeard doesn't search the deck fast enough to get to see that 9-drop again before the end of this game. So bottom decking it is essentially making it go away forever. There are no blockers on Rebecca's side, so Whitebeard could just put a lot of Dawn on his cards and try to deal damage this turn, but we see we're going to go ahead and counter out of the 7K. All right. So Whitebeard just thinking the play out. 3,000 worlds are gone right now. Luffy can put those back next turn, though. There is access to Luffy's effect again next turn, and Whitebeard will be dropping to 1 life at the end of this turn. Okay, took the life. It looked like it was an event card, but I couldn't quite tell. Just the slight flash I got made it look like it was Red Rock, but I couldn't really tell. All right, we're gonna go ahead and play the 5/7 King Do and pass the turn. All right, let's see how big we can get. The dream here is to just put 4 Gatling guns or Kong guns on Luffy and just swing twice. Kong gun costs 3, gives a character +6, and then if you have 15 or more, it gains double attack, but you don't need double attack anymore. Okay, we're gonna see 6 go over to Marco. Now the Marco goes down, you could get rid of an event card in hand to bring it back, or just counter out with the Thatch. Okay, we're gonna see Rebecca come down. Look at the top 3. Looks like a Sab. Oh, ooh, uh-oh, uh-oh. We have found a Kong gun. The question is, how many more do we already have? It looks like at least one more. Oh boy. So now we're just wondering, can the opponent get out of it? And honestly, Whitebeard might be able to get out of it. We're just gonna see 7 go across the table to the Marco. Here's the Otama. We're taking our time here. Definitely don't want to give Whitebeard too much time, but it's not really a problem to let Whitebeard take his last life. Okay, lots of options. We know there's the Bardo blocker in hand. We use the effect of King Do, reduce the cost, play the
John
Bardo,
O'Donnell, to the front, please.
and then exchange for a Sabo. Sabo protecting all of our cards from being destroyed by card effects is also a blocker on top of the Bardo blocker that he just played, and we draw 2, discard 2. The really strong part about this is that Marco is not an answer to Bardo. It looks like he discarded a Luffy off of that effect, I believe, and a Colosseum. Interesting, we didn't see Luffy use his effect to restand himself. I can't count the cards in Rebecca's trash, but looks like it might be 18. He seems to keep it in stacks of 5. All right.
Once again, John
You really want to
O'Donnell,
take
to
that
the
Luffy
front
down
behind your deck.
because it's terrifying. But to be fair, you could put the Kong guns on Sabo if you really want to. It doesn't have to be the Luffy. It's just the Luffy attacks twice, which is pretty good. All right, Whitebeard's got a lot to think about here. Whitebeard has 3 attackers, but can't possibly get through the 2 blockers. The Bardo into the Sabo means that his blockers are just protected at this moment. Wants to look at the trash, needs to count a lot of things to consider here. Looks like we have double Kong gun, toy soldier, Tashigi, and another blocker in hand, I think, for Rebecca's side. All right, so we see Otama, Otama, and then we're just gonna have to swing on the Luffy though, because even though we're Otamaing that Luffy down to a 3K, it still can't be KO'd by effects. We still can't slam a Marco here and clean it up. We could play an ace with our remaining Don, but you see how he has that 3 Don set to the side. He's had that there for quite a while now, and it might just be because of the number of guard points in his hand. Here we see the swing come across to the Luffy. Again, I'm not sure why he didn't switch the Luffy to active mode last turn, but we are going to try to take advantage of the Luffy's vulnerable position here and clear it. And we do, in fact, clear the Luffy. We've got Marco come across the table. We're going to get out of that. And leader come across the table. He might actually go after. I see the dice is how many cards are in hand, I think. The leader comes after the toy soldier. We're just going to get out of that. And we're going to see a 4-drop Marco come down this time. So that is a blocker. That does matter. That is very, very important right now. So with the Luffy down, that actually does eliminate some threats. We still have Rebecca's effect, but there are also 2 other Luffys in the trash right now. So are we playing the game of find the other Luffy?
That is time around. Please start end of round procedures.
All right, just considering how many cards are in hand, it's quite a number. 3 up, so you assume 1 radical, 2 guard point, base 16. And we still have the blocker to consider. Does have Toy Soldier in hand, so he could use Orlumbus, shrink the Marco, and then play the Toy Soldier to clear it. Marco can come back, but the Marco comes back in rest mode. So we're seeing some math being done here. Just trying to be very careful with all of it. And just doing some quick Don math, thinking about how can you close the game out. You need 3 Don apiece for your Kong guns. It'd be 18 on the Sabo, and you could put 1 more Don on it, make it 19. But again, Newgate would be a base 16 with Radical Beam 2 guard point, or would be a base 15 with 3 guard point. So getting out of that attack is certainly in the realm of possibility. I still think the Luffy really did need to be switched to active mode, especially because 2 other Luffys were in drop. Okay, we're going to see 1 Don go on the Orlumbus,
Attention One Piece
and then a
players.
swing.
If you are missing a red lunchbox, it is up at the front desk.
Whitebeard is in a very good position right now. Rebecca is on the turn that could decide if she wins or loses by how she plays it. Whitebeard making some considerations. Do I block this? Do I counter out of it? Do I choose to take it and lose the game? That consideration is probably not on the table. Especially with that many cards in hand and 3 Dawn up. So looks like we have Makino 4 guard points in hand. My goodness. My goodness. That is. He can only use 3 this turn. So that's some kind of consolation, perhaps. He's going to block. Interesting. Okay, so now that changes our math quite a bit. We have 3, 6. Dawn leaves 3 Dawn, so it'd be 9 plus 12. 21. Could have gone 21 with Sabo. Oh, okay. Must not have been enough. There you go. Um, not too sure who won. Somebody's going to go. I'm guessing we have 3, 6, 9, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Rebecca won. I will confirm that real quick, but it looks like Rebecca won. You had what, 3, 6, 9, so you had 12, 15, 20. It was a 20. So the Kyros would have been a 20. Yeah, Rebecca did win. Okay, I got confirmation. Rebecca won. All right, that was a really good game. I do think that the Luffy probably needed to be switched to active mode. It would have been a lot easier for Rebecca if that had happened. But yeah, that was a really good game. It was great to see Rebecca this high up, especially after earlier today where we saw Katakuri kind of, 6 life left.